Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's Sheila with Spirit of Matter, and we are in the Soul Hour today. Ascendant is 21 degrees Scorpio, Midheaven 28 degrees Leo, Moon in 20 degrees Leo, Mars, ruler of Ascendant, in 4 degrees Leo, releasing from opposition to Pluto. And we have Sun has just ingressed to Sagittarius. And I'm dealing with the cold case. So I'm going to put the caption of the chart in the video. And the ruler of the sun is Jupiter in 18 degrees in the 8th house, 18 degrees Gemini. And Mercury, ruler of Jupiter, is 21 degrees Sag. So Venus right now is 12 degrees Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn 12 degrees Pisces. And I'm looking at the cold case from, I think, 1993 of a woman that disappeared and was found dead. Yes, I believe. And the question was she going to kill herself or not? And she never spoke about anything to do with suicide. So the technique I'm using is to look at the chart of when I was exposed to the case, which is right now's chart. Case is from Peter R. de Vries Foundation. Of course, if you have any tips, regardless of, they don't take, I talked about it, they don't take tips from like remote viewers and stuff like that, because it's a well-ranked family, and I think they can't, okay, for all the reasons I mentioned. But if you know actual concrete tips, or you saw her, then you can go to Peter R. de Vries Foundation. And I'm just looking at the chart of the event. Now, first things first, when it comes to suicide, there's no such thing as suicide, okay? So suicide is a disease of society. If society cannot accommodate for its people, something's off with society, okay? And the person who is dealing with that is not because they don't have solutions for problems, is because they are dealing with something that is to do with corruption that they are exposed to, or that their life path has to do with exposing. If I go back to my Do It by Feet series, I have my correctors here. The minute I began to correct my toes, I remember that as teenager, we had to stand for an hour in those ritual ceremonies at schools. I don't even know for what, and I physically couldn't stand. Okay? In high school, I wanted to kill myself. Okay, I didn't feel belong. Nobody believed me, okay? So you could say that I was suicidal, but is this suicide? No, never was. And so this is the disclaimer for this episode, because as I look at the chart, immediately what strikes me is Soul Hour, Sun is ruled by Jupiter, Sun in Sagittarius, 2nd house. Very likely there was the skill of being free. The desire, the motivation for the Sun here is to be free. Jupiter, however, is in detriment in the 8th house, house of death, transformation, trauma, and also occultism, by the way, in 18th degree, which is degree of poisoning or some difficult to diagnose disease. Okay, 18th degree is degree that is malefic degree, to do with toxins in particular. The ruler Mercury is also in the 2nd house. So there is a reception between Jupiter and Mercury when both are in detriment. Now, one perspective to look at it was that Jupiter right now is seeing the trees rather than the forest. But another perspective is that there is a certain sort of poison. And so I would look for either the 11th degree or the 22nd degree, which I don't see. Nothing in the chart is on those degrees right now. So when it comes to what degrees I do see, Venus, we're talking about a young woman, so Venus is appropriate to look at. And she is in 12 degrees Capricorn. 12 degrees is Piscean degree. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is again in Pisces, that's ruled by this Jupiter. Saturn is also in 12th degree. 12th degree in Pisces, it has to do with addiction, with helplessness. And again, we have to understand what are those diseases. Addiction, again, is a societal problem. It's not an individual choice problem. In fact, addiction or depression is happening when the individual has made all possible choices. It happens following the individual make all possible choices to improve upon the situations and is still not working. So we have to understand this as society. A lot of people want to hear the lovely words, you did everything that you could do. No, you did not. You did not go and riot in the street for the situation of people in closed departments. You did not go and riot in the street for the pyramidal and extra pyramidal instead of housing first. You did not go and riot in the streets for victim blaming of people that were raped and tortured and electrocuted and you think that they are whores. You did not. Maybe you were exhausted because right now you're also on the verge of suicide because of this societal issue. But if you want to hear the nice words, wow, that how you did everything that you could do, maybe you as an individual did. But society definitely did not. And the 12th degree, Piscean degree, is also a manifesting degree. May mean the woman has manifested something here, or alternatively, somebody was trying to manifest something for her to do with endings, poisoning, or something like that. So that can be both that she wanted to be free from some situation and was considering, pondering even death, or even in the price of being dead, to be free. Another thing is that there was some curse, Saturn, in her life. If the family is part of a covenant of a Mason, if there's somebody Mason in the family or in the lineage, that there was curse that was to manifest her supposed self-mord, supposed suicide, or her to be poisoned by this Mercury, So very likely some poisoning took place, and the poisoning can be prolonged because Saturn is in Pisces, so it can be she was poisoned by something. Now, I don't know if she had gone through like self-help, or maybe she was taking certain pills that they cause suicide. But this can also be even as simple as food. Second house is also food. That there are toxins. These toxins in the body create stagnation and they affect the thought of a person. Okay? So all of these possibilities need to be considered. Now, Mars is releasing from an opposition to Pluto. What happens in this situation is that, and again, I don't know for the chart when she was disappeared. I'm looking at the chart right now, which is kind of like a nervous system that brings back all the things that reoccur that have connection to the type of circumstances we are at right now. For example, before I was seeing this case, I was writing about Neptune during 1997. This is 1993, before that. Neptune was in Capricorn then. But during 1997 to 2012, Neptune was in Aquarius. Now Pluto is in Aquarius. Okay? Neptune is about surrendering things. Pluto is about taking our power back, standing in our power. But they have a sextile between them, so we have to learn when to surrender, when to stand in our power, both then and now. So, for example, if, let's say, at the time when this woman disappeared, we didn't know about secret cults and covenants that they are cursing their members and manifesting death for them and try to control minds of people whether through poisoning the food, and it's little by little. It doesn't have to be cyanide. That could have happened at school. That could have happened at work. Okay? And as far as what the ruler of the hour tells me, she wanted to be free. Also, for Jupiter in the 8th house, there's a grand desire to be free that can lead to death. And there was a skill. The skill has to do with Mercury. So the skill has to do with some sort of toxins. But we must not rule out that that was somebody manifested, somebody cursed that this family would lose a child, or somebody cursed the woman. The covenants and cults, they are eliminating the feminine so to deplete humanity. It's not from like sexism, women hatred, not even that, because if you are, let's say, a man who is more connected to, let's say, your emotions, you consider the feminine already. Okay, young boys that are raped consider the feminine. So this is how they work, how they operate. And now it's knowledge that we have. Okay, it's not about sexism or anything like particular women hatred. No, they do it to themselves. They do it to men as well, and they're because their objective is to enslave, but then to kill everyone. Why? Because they're stupid. It's not a smart thing. It never has been. It's about control. And that thing can take over when humanity is, yes, complying with that. If we agree if that a woman is a whore because she was raped, and we think that sex work is, and marriage is sex trafficking, okay, if we think that that is sex work, if we think that that is marriage, then we as society comply with those courses. That somebody placed a curse doesn't mean it has to occur. 8th house is also house of marriage. Okay, Venus is ruling the 7th house. She's in Capricorn. So there's something about the practical commitment of partnership, marriage,